Hi Yogis, welcome to this new class and welcome back to my channel. Tony here. Let's start with warming up the body and the hamstrings. Raise your arms up in the air and with a straight back, forward hold. Place your hands onto your thighs, look up and slowly walk back your hands. Take it easy. Walk the feet slowly one by one. If you can, place your hands onto the floor. Look up and exhale, forward fold. Stay here for a moment. If you're not able to reach the floor, please feel free to use blocks and bend your knees. Always do these exercises to the best of your ability. And although it's okay to ever so slightly push the boundaries, it's not okay to strain a muscle or hurt yourself. With the next inhalation, slowly adjust your feet wider than the hips and either with the blocks or with the hands onto the floor. Go into Sukhasana and stretch again the hamstrings into the forward fold. Inhale, look up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Repeat a few more times. Follow your breath. And one last time. Adjust your feet and slowly roll up the spine. The head comes last. Well done, everyone. Exhale, tuck your chin to your chest and slowly come into forward fold. Inhale up vertebrae by vertebrae. Head comes last. And tuck your chin. And slowly come forward. Let your head, your shoulders, your arms stay loose. Inhale, roll up. Head comes last. With the next inhalation, roll up your shoulders and bring the hands behind your back. The feet are hip distance apart. Interlace your fingers. Exhale, come into forward fold. If your belly is not touching the thighs, if you're not flexible enough, make sure that you bend the knees. Inhale, look up, only with the head. Exhale, down. Move an inch lower. You can look to the right, to the left, and loosen up the neck muscles. Inhale, stomach to thighs. Look up and come into chair pose with the hands interlaced behind your back. Exhale one more time, forward fold. Stay here for a breath or two. If you had your knees bent, start to try to straighten up the legs. Inhale, come into chair position and up into Tadasana. Roll up your shoulders and take a moment to feel your body here. Hips are interlace your arms behind the back. Open up your hips. Open up your feet hip distance and move your left feet parallel to the edges of the mat. The right foot stays parallel to the front and to the back of the mat. Inhale, exhale, come down. Again, straight spine, your forehead touches the shin. If not, stay where you are. Do not bend the knees. Your goal is and try not to round up the back here. The goal is not for the forehead to touch the shin, but for the stomach or for the spine to touch the thigh. And eventually the head will touch the shin as well. Inhale, look up with the head, exhale down. Inhale one more time, look up with the head, exhale down. Inhale and slowly come up. Exhale, come into neutral position. We change side. Right leg parallel. Right leg 90 degrees to the left. Fingers still interlace. Exhale, forward fold. And stay here. Really concentrate on the breath. The breath is the passage to your being. You can close the eyes or open them, but sometimes it's much easier to become aware of the breath with the eyes closed. Quite often when we open the eyes, we become aware of our problems. Inhale again, come up, look up, exhale down. Inhale up with the head, exhale down, head to shin. One more time, inhale up, exhale down. Inhale, come up to neutral position. And release the hands. You might feel a bit dizzy when you come here, when you come up into neutral position, so take it slowly and easy. Let us come onto the belly into Sphinx position. The shoulders are on top of the elbows and pull slightly your elbows to your body and the chest, push the chest forward. Eyes can be open or closed. If eyes are open, you can look 2-3 meters ahead of you. With the next inhalation, slowly open up your hips in half frog position. Be careful, there should be no strain, no pain in the lower back. It's a wonderful lower back mobility stretch and also a hip opener. If you can, move your hands up. This is going to increase the stretch in the lower back, so be careful. Should you have any pain in the lower back, just come into the Sphinx position. Stay with the breath. Well done. Slowly walk the hands, the arms back into Sphinx position and bring the right leg back into neutral in a stretched out position. Open up the left hip. And stay here. Take a moment for the spine to adjust, for the hip to open. slowly walk your hands towards the body into half seal, half frog position. Again, be careful with any pinching in the lower back or in the spine. If you can, straighten up the arms and slowly come back into Sphinx position and bring the left leg back. Let's do a super nice stretch for the shoulders. Interlace your hands by first slowly walking your hand towards the top of the mat and threading the needle the other arm underneath. Then push the other arm on top of whichever arm is underneath. Your forehead touches the floor. Should be the case for most of you. Completely surrender here. Imagine as if you were sleeping. Let's release and thread the needle on the other side. Right arm pushes underneath the left shoulder and left arm to the right. Imagine you're falling asleep here. Surrender, completely surrender. You can also elongate your exhalation here, which will help you to really calm down, relax, and activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for rejuvenation and relaxation. Slowly supporting yourself, slowly come up. And push yourself into downward facing dog. Let's do the stretch on the left side first. You'll push your left leg behind or underneath your right hip into 90-degree position, and your hands should be into Sphinx position now. Thread the needle again. The right arm pushes underneath the left shoulder. The right ear is onto the floor. An amazing stretch for the right shoulder here, and also a hip opener. The toes of the right foot can be untucked. Again, breathe as slow and deliberately as possible. And again, you can elongate the exhalation, even if it's just for a second or two, to release any pressure. Now come up by supporting yourself with your left arm. Push yourself into plank position and slowly push the right leg to 90-degree position to your left one. Untuck the toes and come to a Sphinx. Now thread the left arm underneath the right shoulder and relax onto your left ear. Well done, everyone. Slow, deep breaths. Inhale and push yourself up. Tuck the toes of the left leg and come into downward facing dog. Inhale and place your right leg at the outside of the right arm, slowly stretching the hips. Now, if you can, place the underarms onto the floor and tuck the toes of the left leg, and slowly, if you can, place the forehead onto the mat. If you're not able to do that, no problems at all. Just take a book, whatever you can to support yourself. It's okay to stay up onto your arms and slowly work towards bringing the forearms onto the floor or onto a block. Be patient with yourself. Inhale and slowly come up. Now bring the hips parallel to each other and slowly start stretching the hamstrings of the right leg. Spine is straight. This posture should lead us to Hanumasana, the split. Now stay here for a moment. Again, try to not round up the back, but keep the spine as straight as possible. The neck is loose, forehead touching the chin. Your forearms are either onto the floor or onto blocks, or maybe you're supporting yourself by your hands on the floor. Inhale, look up. And slowly change the legs. Left leg at the outside of the left arm. And again, let's take a moment here to loosen up the hips, the ligaments of the hips. Rock back and forward, bring the right knee onto the floor, untuck your toes, and if you can, slowly bring the forearms. The left knee is pushing slightly to the outside, and your left foot you don't have to place the foot onto the floor. It can be, the edge of the left foot can be touching, only you're opening the hip here. And if you can, again, bring the forehead to the floor. If there is any discomfort or not pain, but a pinch somewhere because we're loosening the hips, working on our flexibility, use your breath to transcend it. Never ever ignore pain, but do push your boundaries. Again, half Hanumasana. The hips are on top of the right knee. Straighten up the left leg. Flex the foot. Exhale, spine towards your leg. And forehead to the shin. If possible, forearms are placed, are supporting yourself, are supporting you onto the floor. Inhale and slowly come up. Tighten up your core and lift your left leg back. Roll up the shoulders and let's open up the chest. Now hips again. The knees are hip wide and the hips are on top of the knees. If you want to make it easier, the hips can be, you can push the hips, toward the front of the mat. And you either stay onto your palms or bring the chest and the chin to the floor. If you're working on this flexibility, use a block to support underneath your forehead. The stretch is easy if you bring your palms apart from each other, but if you can, see if your thumbs can touch. Inhale, be careful as you come out of the position. And slowly come onto your back. Happy baby pose. Bend your knees and grab your feet with each hand. Push the knees towards the shoulder pits. The happy baby pose is incredible for the spine and especially for the lower back. If you suffer from any low back pain issues, this is one of the to-go exercises. Push the lower back onto the mat. You can also do just one happy baby pose depending on your flexibility and if you have any issues with the lower back. Okay, stretch out the left leg to the front and let's work on the flexibility of the right leg. As you're holding the right foot, slowly stretch out the leg and bend again into bend the knee. This should loosen up the muscles, the hamstrings, and will allow you to stretch out the right leg. In order to go into difficult postures, you have to be careful. You have to give yourself the time. You have to prepare yourself properly. And as you exhale, bring the right leg back, half baby pose on the left hand side. Push the right leg down. Do not allow for the hip to come up. The left leg grabs the left foot and push the knee towards the pit of the shoulder. Now grab your left foot with both hands, and if you do not have the flexibility yet, you can also grab the shins or maybe use a band. Work with the breath. As you exhale, pull ever so slightly, and inhale, release. As you can see, I'm also working here towards a yogic sleeping posture, which is bringing both legs, one or both legs behind the head. It is said that this posture brings mental clarity and focus and makes the mind one-pointed. Let's go to the next exercise. Supine twist on the right. Move your hips ever so slightly towards the right and bring your right leg on top of the left one. Bring the knees to the left. Your right ear touches the mat. The arms are stretched out to the sides, to 90-degree position to your body. Make sure your right shoulder is onto the mat. The knees will naturally come down. There is absolutely no need for push or pull here. Inhale, come up and bring the hips to the left and the left leg on top of the right one. Look to the left with your eyes and allow for the knees to come to the right. Again, make sure that the left shoulder rests onto the mat and the knees will naturally come down. And as you inhale, slowly move up and untangle the legs. Come into Shavasana. Take a moment or two to really enjoy the silence. Allow for the body to take a moment to integrate what we just did. For all the muscles, for all the nerves that we touched, that we rejuvenated, energized, to really absorb that energy. Really cherish the moment. Those moments throughout the day should be more frequent, but at least you have the ability or the possibility now to relax and just be. Stay here for as long as you can, and when you're ready, roll onto your right side. You can support your hand, use it as a pillow, your right arm as a pillow to rest, and slowly come either into Sukhasana or into cross-legged position. Thank you ever so much for allowing me to take you through this class. Do not forget to share, like, subscribe. This will help me to bring more content to you. See you soon.